This is why I train in martial arts. I'm going to have to get back to the news to get some views. Because apparently you guys like these videos more than the straight up martial arts videos.
As soon as he hit me, the pain instantly started throbbing.
Caught on camera, a female security guard was punched in the face last night in River North. Tonight, police are looking for the man responsible.
But anyway, I think that female police officers definitely need martial arts training. I think they need it more than men. If it were up to me, every cop, male or female, would be a judo black belt at least, or have a black belt in something before they get on that police force. Just like I said about teachers. I was going to put a clip in here from the late comedian Patrice O'Neal, God rest his soul, because the incident I'm going to sample later on in this video is where there's a white guy that hits a black female security guard. A lot of people are trying to put a racial angle on it and call me a sellout. I don't really think it's a racial angle. I think it's a sexist angle, really. I think it's a case of where a guy says, it's a woman. Bow. I don't care. I'm not scared of her. And Patrice O'Neal, in one of his comedy bits, goes on about how he feels like a woman can't really arrest him because he was like 6'5" or something like that, about 350 pounds. And it was not all just, just fat cells. That guy has some mass on him. I mean, a big guy like that would be hard for a man to arrest. But there was no way I was going to be able to clean that up to make it politically correct. So I'll just reference it. And if anybody has heard it, you know what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and take a look at this clip where this woman is punched by a guy. And the thing that I really say that she could have used some training is because one-step sparring would have been able to address that. And I'm going to go into that after the video. I made this video years ago called The Psychology of One-Step Sparring, where I basically say that one-steps are good for you from a psychological standpoint because they show you how a lot of fights happen because we agree to the fight. One-step sparring, person down blocks, the attacker down blocks, he yells. The attacker does not attack until the defender down blocks and yells, and then the attacker can attack. So go ahead. When you look at the video with the security guard and the drunk guy throws the water bottle at the security guard. That is like him doing the down block as the attacker. When she moves towards him before she's hit, that's the equivalent of her yelling back like you do in the one-step sparring exercise and nodding for the person to attack. So he threw the water bottle at her and she didn't keep her distance. She should have stood there and let him come to her. Because if she stands there and she's anticipating and waiting for him to come to her, then she could do a defensive block and counter. Or move off of the line of his attack and then counter him that way. But what did she do? She yelled. She did the equivalent of what the person does in one-step sparring of consenting, and then she moved too soon. That's how she got hit. It wasn't just because she was a female. I think she got hit because she tried to preempt a strike when she shouldn't have. If she followed the protocol of one-step sparring, the person attacks, yeah. They don't attack until you yell for them unless you get into a more advanced drill of it where they just go, kya, and come at you. But with the first yell, with the first aggressive movement of the down block and yelling, you know something's coming. If she had been trained in martial arts, she would have known once he threw that water bottle at her and looked at her aggressively, is a possibility that he would attack. And even if she doesn't have his size and strength, she could prepare a strategy to either block and hit, intercept his punch and throw him, or get off of the center line and hit, or even just get off the center line, run around him and run away or something. If she had a weapon, as soon as he threw that water bottle, she could have put her hand on her weapon, made some space, and wait for him to come, and then light him up. That's what she would have learned if she had taken one-step sparring.
Good evening. I'm Tamon Bradley.
I'm Jackie Bang. Eric Rung is in River North with our top story. Eric.
Good evening. You know, it's pretty quiet down here tonight, but on the weekends, this place is hopping. So much so that the people that live in this building here installed 2 HD surveillance cameras to keep an eye on the place, and they captured everything this morning. It's a little before 2 a.m., and the man you see walking down the street and finally sitting down outside Zoa Stigler's building is the man she hopes someone will recognize. Is it hard to watch that video?
It is. Almost make me want to cry because I didn't remember everything. And to see him hit me that hard.
Zoa has been working security at the building for about 2 months.
I don't think that the woman who, shout out to Pam, who taught me judo as an adult, my first adult judo teacher, I don't think she's much bigger than her. And yes, she gave me a hard time in judo when I first came in there.
Can see her walk out and check on the guy. She says she asked him if he needed help. After a few more minutes, she decided to call 911. Police do drive by, but that's all they do. A few more minutes pass, and a girl who was with the man shows up. Soon, he starts vomiting. Zoa went to go get a bucket to clean it up, and when she comes back, she tells the man and his 3 friends to move along. Then, for seemingly no reason at all, the man throws a water bottle at Zoa.
That's the down block. And what does she do? She's moving towards him. And then, because remember, down block from the attacker is a telegraph or communication that they're going to be aggressive towards you. And then what does she do? When she moves in, instead of keeping her distance or trying to react, he does what?
You can see what happens next. And once he threw the water, you walked up to him. Did you say anything to him?
No. When he threw the water, I was shocked. I don't even know what made me walk up to him.
A lack of training is what made you walk up to him. A lack of training. But I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad at her at all. I don't even necessarily blame her. We live in a society where we act like you don't have to learn how to handle violent people, when handling violent people could be part of your job.
Here is a clean image of the man. You can also see in the video that 3 people are with him did nothing to help Zoa. You can tell that they saw the punch because of their reactions on their faces. The guy who attacked...
Now, people are going to say that they didn't do anything out of racism. I don't think it was out of racism. It could have been, but I don't think it was out of racism. I think it was out of shock. I can't believe. Because when people see something outside of their normal framework, they act like that. They go, what? They probably were shocked that he hit her. So they froze. And if they're not fighters themselves, every man is not a fighter. They don't know what to do. And they probably didn't think she was hurt as bad as she was. Because I can tell you, I wouldn't have thought she was hurt as bad as she ended up being just from that hit. Because you can't tell necessarily just by looking at someone. That's why we have these people called doctors.
Walks away, and soon all 3 are gone.
Why would you hit a human being in the face that's trying to assist you, trying to help you?
Zoa says she's doing okay. The guy did break a bone in her nose and under her eye that may require surgery.
I hope they arrest him because I do plan on pressing charges against him for assaulting me, for doing my job.
Yeah, she did her job that they didn't prepare her for, and it's not her fault because we live in a society where we think that handling violent people is easy, and we don't think that it takes any brains to handle a man that's violent, especially one in his prime. We think anybody can do that job. We don't give it the respect that it deserves And that's probably why martial arts don't get the respect that they deserve. The martial arts, because we think it's easy. It's not. You think it's easy? You go out there and deal with them violent people like that with no weapon and no training and see what happens to you.